Hi, Bob.
Hi.
Guess
What's
what
been
I
3 weeks now, hasn't it?
Yes, 3 weeks. This is the pre-credits thing. So, guess what I did Christmas Day?
Did you go down any chimneys?
No, I'm far too small for that.
What did you do on Christmas Day?
Well, the thing behind me here, um, my Return of the Jedi disc was stuck in my old PlayStation 3. So my father-in-law and I tore the PlayStation 3 apart and liberated the disc.
Nice. Nice.
Now,
While Jawas celebrated and tore down a statue.
yes. All the other discs were very happy to have their brother back. And you know how I discovered that my Return of the Jedi disc was still in my PlayStation 3 before? I decided I wanted to watch a Star Wars movie, and of course the one I chose was Return of the Jedi. That was the day after we gave my father-in-law our old PS3.
Ooh.
Yeah, but now I have the disc back.
Nice. Dun dun dun.
And with that, roll credits! And welcome to the greatest show online!
Woohoo!
This is our 23rd episode. It's the 27th of December, 2013. The last greatest show online this year. Except, well, I'll get to that in a second. I, as my lower third says, am DJ Allen.
Yes. Mine, I actually have a lower third, says Bob Miata.
Yes, Bob is he's got his working. I'm so excited.
Yeah, me. This is like our Christmas special, isn't it?
Well, see, it is our Christmas special, I suppose. So we should have Christmas-themed skullduggery and shenanigans going on.
Oh. Nice.
Which is why you're dressed like a pirate and I've got a Star Wars shirt on.
Good thinking. That way we can celebrate Christmas Pirate Jedi style.
That's right. Hey, Star Wars had a holiday special.
I remember that. I remember seeing C-3PO with the Santa hat.
That's possibly the worst thing ever. No, that's not true. It's not true.
Flintstones. I would have to say Flintstones was probably one of the worst. Well, I don't know what would be worse, having them celebrating the birth of Christ on some other part of the galaxy, or thousands of years before Christ was born.
Good point. Good
Yeah.
point. The reason I held back but now want to readdress this is, Bob, I was curious about something. What are you doing on New Year's Eve?
Well, I know she had invited some people over, and so we may have a full house. We may be playing cards. We may be having no one here at all.
The reason I ask is because the missus asked me if we were going to be doing some sort of New Year's Eve-a-thon.
Ooh. Oh. Well, if I'm busy on New Year's, we can always do it next Thursday. That's funny, because that wouldn't be New... Never mind.
Right. So, well, and we don't need to do like some epic 5-hour superthon. Maybe just a couple of hours. A little bit before you go New Year's Day, and then a little bit all the way through my New Year's, because we're an hour apart for those watching at home.
Yeah. I'm actually in the future.
How is the future, Bob?
It's not bad. Still no flying cars. But other than that, it's pretty cool. We got robot servants. Yeah, it's great.
Robot servants. Hey, Bob, you should go to Facebook and share this.
I should. Did you already have done that?
I have, and actually I'll share it on your page, and then you can reshare it.
Reshare. And you know why this is such a good thing? Because everybody knows that sharing is good.
It is.
Hey, there we go.
Sharing is good. Oh, hey, someone wants to say hi.
Hello.
Hi! I have exciting news!
Really? Like what? What happened?
I got the snowblower started!
Woohoo!
Yes!
You can blow snow like the professionals do.
Right?
Yes! Because I'm getting tired of shoveling it.
Well, you can have him shoveling it.
You know, that would be great, but have you picked up a shovel yet this season?
Yes.
Really?
Well, okay. Now we're gonna get into the story.
No, don't get into the story yet. No. So I have to go get new gas for the snowblower. I'm gonna leave it running.
Okay.
Oh, the choke was frozen, and the primer bulb wasn't working, and the carburetor was all gummy. Ew.
But you got it all, huh? That's pretty cool.
Ew.
But yep, I got it running, so I'm really happy because we're supposed to get more snow tomorrow. So.
Oh.
You're fuzzy.
Yeah.
I love that. Come back here. It's like the dog. The dog has like the beard down here too.
Yeah, I've been working on this for a while now, and I'm a little concerned about. I didn't time it quite right because when I have I can either let it get really, really super long, or I can shave it off while it's still cold outside. So I think what I need to do is get that mid-beard clippers thing so I can get just that perfect awesomeness.
Why would you shave it off while it's still cold outside?
I know, I don't want to do that, but because I started growing it so soon, by the time it's not cold outside anymore, I'm going to have the old ZZ Top thing going.
But wait a second, weren't you gonna wait until I shaved?
Yeah, I think that was the goal. I don't know when you're going to shave yours, but this stuff down here, oh my gosh, that's got to be like 3 inches long.
Yeah, that's the fun stuff to play with.
It's so
That's
long.
pretty damn cool. It's all curly. And...
I've never grown a neck beard before, and it's
Yeah. None of this. A guy at work says that he always shaves this stuff here, and
you do not know how hard it has been not to trim my mustache and then shave, off of it. I have left everything. I've not touched any of this. This is the first time ever, and I'm literally chewing on my mustache right now.
Yeah, eating. Every once in a while, I'll eat something that's like today we had these noodly things with some sauce stuff and bacon. and bacon to whatever it is that you say that you ate. It's awesome. So this stuff, it was grabbing a hold of my beard. All I could think of is one of those cartoons, where someone's being swallowed by the whale, and it's like grabbing a hold of the tonsils so it doesn't go down the throat. And I think that's what the food was doing, was grabbing a hold of my mustache, going, no!
I always get my hair in my mouth when I'm eating. It hasn't been this long in a long time, and I always, yeah.
Let's go get more gas.
Okay, I'm gonna go get more gas for the.
And then I
snowblowers,
can tell you the story about why I have not done a lot of shoveling this season.
so that I can
Oh.
go for a walk.
Actually, you may have already known because I think we've had a show since. I had frostbite on my wrist.
Yes.
Yeah, it's better because this is the wrist that I had it on, and now I get to wear my Fitbit back over there. But that, I haven't. Since I've been able to go outside, I've been also, I work at the post office, so I also have had enormously long days, which happened last week, and of course this weekend because of Christmas threw me off, and I thought today was Tuesday.
In the movie Blade, Frost was the vampire, so frostbite should have changed you into a vampire also.
Or if Frost is like vampires and I get Frost bit, should I also become Frost?
Wow. Too cool, man. Too cool.
Yes. I forgot to start writing stuff down, so I'm going to do that now.
Good call.
I know.
Frost.
I'm just hoping that I can remember all the names of these shows because, I'm kind of backlogged now, and I'll be able to start posting them in the new year.
Cool. Which is only a few short days away.
Right. I got a question for you, Bob.
What?
I asked you if you could write a certain number of words, a story with a certain number of words. Have you attempted to do that yet?
I have started with the one story, but not with the other. We mentioned 2 different topics.
We can be vague. You know what? Let's be slightly diversionary, and I'll just go. Is it the Doctor Who ripoff, or is it a superhero?
The superhero one.
Yeah, that's what I was going to suggest, is writing the superhero one.
Oh, and I want to read to you what I have so far, but of course not on the air unless you want to. But I think that the problem with that is that you know how sad I would be if I finally wrote something and my concept was taken by some stranger out there who was watching the show. We shall call him viewer number 7, and he will wear a red shirt.
I listen to the Mission Log podcast, which is a Star Trek podcast, and they review episodes. And the last one they reviewed, somebody died, and in their review they said whatever his name died, and they didn't even have the courtesy to put him in a red shirt.
Ooh, that's harsh.
I know. How often does a non-red shirt die?
Yeah.
Well,
personally, I feel that a yellow shirt, the blood would show up better on a yellow shirt, or even the blue.
But they,
purplish blob.
But they don't blood in Star Trek. It's just sort of vaporized, or you just fall down dead.
I wonder if that's why they go with the red. So it'd be like, yeah, they're bleeding. You just can't see it because it blends into the shirt.
I'm pretty sure that when they ordered the shirts for the show originally, they had a couple of blues, a couple of yellows, and somebody typed a 0 behind the couple of reds, and they got like 40. So they're like, oh boy, well, let's start using these. Everybody in a red shirt dies except for Scotty.
Yeah, I would be flipping the fuck out. I'd be like, oh, fuck. Okay, we need you, and let's see, we need someone with a red shirt so the rest of us can make it out of here alive. You.
Well, did you see the Family Guy episode?
No.
The landing party is going to be Captain Kirk, Mr. Spock, Dr. McCoy, and Ensign Ricky. And then they pan over to Ensign Ricky, and he goes, crap.
I would have like a spare shirt that I ripped off from the laundry department sitting next to me. So if they called me down and it was like, fuck. And I would change my shirt right there in front of everyone. Wearing like a blue or green or whatever.
Have you seen all the Star Treks? Like everything?
No. I have all the movies. And I watched a lot of the episodes. I have not seen them all. But feel free to talk about them, because they've been around for a long time, and there's no spoilers left.
Let me do a quick search here before I'm going to lay down a challenge for you, and you should be able... Okay, I got it now. You should be able to watch this on Netflix, because I'm pretty sure it's still available on Netflix.
Okay.
Go and watch Trouble with Tribbles, the original series Tribbles episode.
Okay. Well, I'll see you then on the New Year's. Let's see, how do you... That was my joke saying I'm going to go watch it now. See you... Nah, never.
God, yeah, that fell flat. When you're done watching that episode, watch the Deep Space Nine episodes, except episode... the DS9 episode named Trials and Tribulations.
Is there a connection?
There is a very deep connection, and when you watch them back to back, you'll be going, oh, that is so cool!
Okay, let me get this down. Trouble with
Tribbles, which is original series. And then Trials and Tribulations is Deep Space Nine. Now, the Deep Space Nine episode is probably one of the coolest Deep Space Nine episodes they've ever made. So, you'll like that.
Original Star Trek.
Are you using a feather and an inkwell? Jesus, Bob.
Deep Space
9.
And what was the episode there?
Trials and Tribulations. Watch them back to back. You can pee in between or get a snack or something, but watch them. Don't watch both of them in one day.
Actually, I don't have any writing utensil here, so I was using my cool phone feature.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That's. Oh, I can allow that.
Yeah. I was like, something to write with, something to write with. And this is actually where I was doing a lot of my ideas then for our stories. I have monies. Here's one called lime flavored. What does this say? Oh, there was a topic I wanted to mention. Do you mind if I mention it now?
You can go ahead and mention it. I was just flashing some cash because it was sitting on my desk.
Nice. It's a good thing to flash. That and boobs. It says, I have read Thursday that one of the guys from Duck Dynasty. Do you watch Duck Dynasty?
No, and I publicly patronize anyone who does.
I have not watched it at all. There's nothing about that show that I care to watch. However, you heard about what happened to the guy, right?
The Phil Robertson. Somebody said it was taken out of context, but it doesn't matter how it was. I mean, he said that being gay is not great, or something to that effect.
But in my opinion, though, I mean, check this out. The guy, he didn't protest it. He didn't bitch about it. He never said a word about his beliefs or anything until somebody asked him, and he honestly answered it, and then went on with it. And because of that, bam, kicked him off the show. And it's like, wait a minute. He wasn't making a big deal about it. We all have our beliefs that other people don't agree with. The guy seriously wasn't doing anything. He was doing exactly what you're supposed to do with your beliefs. He kept it to himself. And then when somebody said, it's the equivalent of, hey man, you believe in God? No. Because you're an idiot. Get the fuck, you know what I mean? It was like, what? Wife is yelling at me to close the door. But anyways, in my opinion, the guy didn't do anything wrong because he was keeping his beliefs to himself, and then when he was asked the question, he answered it. That was it. He didn't make a big deal about it. You know what I mean?
You should probably close the door too. Some people are defending him with saying, he's got a right to the freedom of speech. Well, the key to being the freedom of speech thing is that freedom of speech is freedom from being persecuted by the government for what you say. So his freedom of speech is not being infringed upon. But
right.
If he was baited, that's...
He was just asked a question. And
I don't even know what he said per verbatim. I only know what people are saying about what he said because I really don't give a rat's ass.
Yeah, it just seemed a little on the... I mean, both you and me have our opinions when it comes to religion or politics.
I wouldn't say politically. If I had to guess right now, you and I are on opposite sides of the political spectrum, and I'm in the middle.
Well, I'm not really opposite of anybody. I just kind of, I don't really care about politics. To me, politics is one of those things where, the people who are, they have to watch all the ball games, and then you have the people who just, if it's on, just immediately change the channel. That's how I am when it comes to politics. You have people who are all like blah 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 blah, talky people, and then you have me, the whole I'm listening to politics going on around me, and I'm like, I'm gonna go find a cartoon to watch, because that's me.
Well, and yeah, I try not. I've been trying not to engage lately anyone in a political discussion because, as I spoke to you at one point, if I'm talking to a liberal, I look conservative. If I'm talking to a conservative, I look liberal, and the reason is because I'm in the dead center. So
no,
I really can't.
My point of view is I don't even know what those words mean.
I can be talking to a Democrat and I look like a Republican, and if I can talk to a Republican and I look like a Democrat.
Still, I don't even know how the parties work. I know, okay, there's a tailgate party. Yeah, I don't know how the parties work.
There's no tailgate party.
I heard about it. It was like one of the football games or something. Political. I don't pay attention to sports either, so.
You should get into sports, Bob, because you know what I'm doing tomorrow night?
Sports?
Yeah. Did I? Oh, wait a second.
We have to make an adjustment here. It's very, very warm in this room, so I'm going to open up the windows some more. And now that I have the, it looks like it's snowing again. Now that I have the door closed, it's okay if I can see frost on my face.
Now don't get frostbite because you'll turn into frost.
Yeah, that's a terrible thing.
So, if your last name was Frost, would you be Robert Frost or would you be Bob Frost?
Ooh. I'd probably try them both out. Just kind of throw them out there to the world and see who, Yeah, that's how I do things. I tell people, hey, I don't care what you call me, and I let them make their own decisions.
Okay.
Always a wise thing to do.
Hang on a second. What I was saying is that tomorrow night I'm going to be watching sports. Now, a specific sport. I'm going to be watching the UFC.
And that is?
Ultimate Fighting Championship.
Ah, yes.
Mixed martial arts. It's what I'll be watching is I'm watching for one specific fight, but I will watch the two specific fights. Basically, the last two fights of the night. I'm after Ronda Rousey versus Miesha Tate for the women's featherweight bantamweight championship. No, women's bantamweight championship. I don't know where featherweight.
Bantamweight?
Yes. That means that they are 135 pounds. And the main event is the Anderson Silva-Chris Weidman rematch for the middleweight championship, which I believe means they're 185 pounds. But the one that I want to see is Rousey versus Tate because it's a lady fight.
Ah.
Now, the reason I like the lady fights, and I'm pretty sure I've said this before, is ladies want to kill each other. Most of the UFC fighters, however, have this buddy-buddy. You know, I'm fighting you, but when we're done, we're going to be friends.
Yeah.
Because we're already friends. So, like, what the UFC is, Bob, is this. If I said, I want to face you in the octagon, Bob, I want to punch your lights out, and when we're done, we're just going to hug and go get a beer.
Oh, I like beer.
Yeah. And, however, Ronda Rousey genuinely does not like Miesha Tate. That's going to be a good fight.
Yeah.
Because Ronda Rousey is known for breaking people's arms.
Damn. See, yeah. I would have a really hard time doing that.
Breaking people's arms or watching people break arms?
Kind of both. I like to fight. And I've been in a lot of fights. But I have to be really angry before I'll fight because I don't like to hurt people. And I'm a big, strong guy, and I've hurt people. But also, when it comes to chicks, to see a chick in pain also kind of bothers me. So if I was watching two people beating the hell out of each other, I'd be like, all right, I can see this. But when it comes to, they look like they are very... I've seen them before because they were on in places that I were. And they look like they want to... you don't break people's bones just to see who's better. You're trying to break bones. And I would have a hard time with that. Now, if I was in a bar and somebody threw a punch at me, guaranteed I'm going to lose my fucking mind and start busting anything I can. Equally, if I was in a bar and someone say, shove my wife, then they're going to have to send in somebody with a mop because I'm going to fuck somebody up. But I don't like to hurt people, and if I can get out of doing that, I'm actually really kind of nervous about the first fight I get into. I have had some training now with martial arts.
What
I'm a
kind?
little nervous to know what's going to happen the first time I get into a fight.
What martial arts do you know?
It's an Aikido-based jiu-jitsu. I've got the 5th belt, and my wife has a 7th. So I'm not like super uber awesome with it, but that puts me above people who don't know martial arts. It's basically an Aikido is a bone-breaking martial arts. I mean, that's what you do. You break bones. That's one of the ones that Seagal had studied in. Now, granted, it's still a jiu-jitsu, so it's mostly holds and things like that, but it's an Aikido jiu-jitsu, so it's getting the holds, going the grabs, and breaking things. So 5 belts of learning how to break people, and I'm a little nervous to see, like I said, I don't want to hurt anybody, but if I get mad enough to fight someone, I'll be mad enough to break them.
That's
I'm
good.
not proud, I'm just saying.
Well, I know you wouldn't want a UFC because you're too old, and the guys that are doing it right now would kill you.
I'm not going to die either.
But here's what bothers me. Well, first off, I want to learn Wing Chun. I was going to teach myself Wing Chun, but as I started teaching myself Wing Chun, I realized quite early on that I can't do that. It's not going to work. I need some sort of
one-hit wonder.
The what?
Wing Chun tonight.
No. That was Wang Chun.
Oh, what one did you say?
Wing Chun.
That's different.
Yes.
Okay. What is this one?
Well, I wanted to teach myself Wing Chun, and I realized quite early on that I need to study from someone, so I can't teach myself. It would take me easily 4 times as long to accomplish the same amount. So if it would take you a week to learn something, it will take me 4 to learn that same thing by myself.
Oh my goodness gracious!
It's very well. I was just trying to get the basic stance down, and I can't even get that. I thought I had it, and then I told my wife to push on my hip, which is where you're supposed to push to see if you've got the proper stance. She pushed me over.
You're pushing wrong. Stop this.
Well, she pushed, and I was like, whoa, hey, wait a second, that's not supposed to happen. And she's like, well, what's supposed to happen? And I'm like, you're supposed to really throw your weight into it, and I'm not supposed to move. She's like, well, am I doing it wrong? I'm like, you need to stop. You're going to push me over. I'm going to tip over like something that tips
like
over.
one of those things that tips over. Yes, exactly.
So I will, at some point, learn Wing Chun, because I like Chinese martial arts.
Huh.
I also want to learn Wing Chun because that's what Bruce Lee started with.
That's a good reason. Very good reason.
And Wing Chun is a lot of I like to call it sticky hands, too. So, like, if I'm not just blocking your hand while you're punching, I've got it grabbed, and I'm forcing you to go where I want you to go.
That's what Aikido is.
Yeah.
So when the strike comes in, you're shoot under the wrist, going into a grab, and then you're directing them where you want while breaking things that they don't want you to break. It's pretty cool. I mean, it's really cool. But
I was taught something called snake strike or snake style or some sort of snaky thing. There's a lot of weird shit. I got taught that in boot camp by someone who was Navy story. Okay, well, let me start. Okay, let's do the snake thing, and then I'll explain why I have a Navy story. Okay, so I've got the snake thing, and then the same guy that did the snake thing also was showing me. I believe he said it was crane style. He knew a lot of Shaolin-based martial arts, and the Shaolin has the 5 animals, which are crane, mantis, tiger, snake, and dragon. I think.
No monkey?
No. Monkey's a different thing. Anyway, The thing that I can do real well, I've actually gotten to use it in a fight, is there's a specific series of moves with this crane style. So like if you punch, I block and grab your arm.
Mm-hmm.
So the front hand then twists to grab your wrist, and I twist your wrist, and I spin, and I flop you on the ground over my hip. And because of the way I have your arm twisted, you're forced onto your face.
Mm-hmm.
You continue to twist the wrist, so it's all at an awkward angle, and then you bend the wrist down, and then it's got that painful thing going on with the wrist.
Mm-hmm.
I've gotten to use it twice, and I'm surprised I got to execute it on. It was the same person twice, and it was the same incident. So the guy throws the punch. I had been trying to, just fuck off, and he wouldn't fuck off. And finally, he throws a punch. I catch him. I throw him on the floor, and I bend his wrist down. He's like, ah! I also added an extra thing, which is not part of the move. If you put your knee into their elbow and kind of lean in a little bit, it entices the person to not want to screw around.
Yeah.
So I get him down, and I'm like, "Are you done?" He just tries to do the macho thing. No, and I lean on his arm a little bit. He's like, "Yeah, I'm done. Okay, so I let him go. He gets right back up, throws the same fucking punch. What do?
Same
Throw
thing.
him on his face, and I lean him back down. And this time I didn't ask him if he was done. I leaned close. His buddies could hear, and I'm like, if you throw another punch, I'm going to break your arm. And this is how I'm going to do it. And I leaned in with my knee a lot harder than the last time. He's like, okay, I'm done.
Okay, I'm a jackass. Just let me up. I'm a jackass.
And he
Nice.
was actually done. Now, if a martial artist was to have thrown that same punch, I'm pretty sure I would have eaten my own fist. But because I knew the idiot was, the I'm drunk, I gotta throw a punch, that kind of guy, I knew I could take him down. So, I was in boot camp with 5 martial artists. There was a Filipino who knew some Filipino martial art. There was a Thailander. I'm not sure what they call him. Thai. I'm just gonna call him a Thai. So there was a Thai who knew Muay Thai. There was somebody from Singapore, Singaporean. See, now I need to stop. The Singapore guy, we didn't know what he knew, but we knew that he knew a lot. So he was like our encyclopedia of martial arts, but nobody messed with him. And he was the smallest guy in the company. Like I don't even know if he was 5 feet tall. He was tiny.
Oh, wow.
Then there was the Shaolin Long Fist guy. He taught me how to make your punch more impactful, because most people throw a punch moving forward off the front foot. If you throw it off your back foot, you get compliments like I did, going, "Oh my God, do you hit hard!" Right? Yeah, I do hit really hard, but that's only because I know how to throw this punch.
Yeah.
And then there was the guy who did the white crane. And he was all in everybody's face. There was another guy too. Anyway, the guy who was all up in everybody's face, I'm just going to call him Chuck because I don't know his name and I don't care. But Chuck was all, after he figured out who knew what, he was kind of trying to be all braggy, like, get up in everybody's face. And then the little Singapore guy, I'm just going to call Trang because that seems to be his name. That's the only thing I can think of when I think of him. Tran, no G, Tran. So he's all up in everybody's grill, and he taught me the white creamy thing, and he's teaching me some other stuff, and he's teaching other people other stuff. And somebody invites Tran over, and they suggested that Tran should show Chuck how things are really done. And then Tran, who knew I don't understand how he got into the Navy, but he knew enough English apparently to get in. He didn't know very much, so he basically asked Chuck to show him what he thought was most impressive, or something that would impress Tran. And Chuck did this thing, floating stuff all over. Tran literally rolled his eyes, turned around, and walked away. I almost started laughing, but I'm glad I didn't, because Chuck got beat red. He was like, "Oh my God!" And Chuck went right for Tran. Was going to put his arm on his shoulder. No. Tran had his arm before it hit his shoulder, and had Chuck face down before any of us knew what happened. And we're all like, everybody was wide-eyed, and he let Chuck up right away, and Chuck's like, "Okay, I'm sorry." This tiny little guy completely floored the guy who was bragging, and we all left Tran alone at that point. He was a dangerous little bastard, is what he was.
Is that if it's brought up and just talking to people, and you find out what they know, that's one thing. The guy who gets in everyone's face saying, "I know this, I know this, I know," they're scared, and they're using that as a self-defense thing, letting everyone know that they're bad, so that everybody stays away from them. And I don't know what the hell they're doing. Now, granted, I don't feel like I know what the hell I'm doing most of the time, but I picked up some. Like I said, I had the 5th belt. That's not too much, but I mean, that was a couple of years of class.
No, wait. Are you a black belt?
No. Let me think here of how the belts went. I started with don't die.
Did it not mute that last one?
No, they didn't mute any of it.
Really?
Yeah.
Why are you... My microphone is supposed to mute that shit. All right, whatever.
Anyways, you start with the white belt. My boy then went to a yellow and then orange, because he was in a kidser, younger class. We went from white to orange, and then I think there was a blue with tips. There was a white one. I don't know. There was blue and green, and I don't know where I'm at now. It's been so long since I've been put on. I think I'm on green or green with tips now. I don't know. But I know that I have the 5th belt, and my wife has got 2 more than me. She's on the 7th belt.
Okay, because when you said that initially, I'm thinking 5th degree black belt, and I'm like...
No, just the 5th belt down the line. So she's got, from where she's at right now, I think she is... Her next one, I think, would have been brown, and then...
Black. Well, either red or black, because I don't think anything comes between brown other than a red in certain martial arts.
I don't even know. I'm not sure how that shit works. And I felt like a total dumbass, because it's like, I'd go into class, I'd put my belt on and everything, I'd stand there and I'd do things, and they'd say, "Okay, well, we'll do this." And I'm like, I don't recognize that name. Well, that's the one where you do this. Oh yeah, I know how to do that, and I would do it. And be like, "Okay, well, show me this one now." Kotegash or Ikkyo, Nikyo. There's like all these different names and stuff. It's like, which one was that? And they're like, "Oh, that's this one." "Oh yeah, I could do that." But I couldn't remember the names. And then every once in a while, I'd go in there and I'd be fiddling with my belt. I'd be like, I can't even get my freaking belt right. I mean, how am I supposed to be able to do the moves right if I can't even get my fucking belt right? And it's very bothersome. That it's like, I did this last week and the week before and the week before and the week before, and now I cannot remember how to put the damn belt on. And I feel like a total moron sometimes because of that. But hey, let me ask you, as far as feeling like a moron, let me ask you a question.
Hey, wait a minute.
This is bad. I just want to know if anybody else has got like what I have. Do you dream?
Yes.
I mean, do you remember your dreams at all?
Oh yes, absolutely. You in fact, some of the stories that I've written and or want to write are dreams.
I have a really hard time with dreams in the fact that I don't always know what really happened and what I dreamt. I have a really hard time being able to tell whether or not it's like I don't know. It's like, Lord, was I on the phone with somebody yesterday and telling them this stuff? It's like, no, I don't think so. I'm like, I think I dreamt that. You know, it's like I don't remember what was. I don't know, and it's like I have a really hard time with knowing what actually happened sometimes, and you don't have anything like that.
Well, okay. Back when we both had both of our original two cats, I had a dream that while we took care of the cats, no, humans in general, we took care of cats. We were actually their property, and they kept us indoors at night and went to go have like cat blood sports in the evening. So they would all leave the houses and apartments and whatnot and go have this pit fighting.
Yeah.
But we were their property.
Well, that makes sense. They're cats and all.
Right?
You know they see us as their property anyways.
Yeah. And there's one dream that was extremely vivid that actually launched me. Let's see if I can. I was somebody else. I will just call myself Bob.
That's my name.
Right. This was long. This was in long. Like, let's see. When was the first dream? Jesus. It would have been like 1990. I was a freshman in high school. So I'm Bob, and I moved to this new town. Let's call it Nondescript City.
Ooh.
In Nondescript City, in the apartment complex I lived in, lived an old Chinese guy, his adopted white, hot daughter, and his adopted African son. Her name was Sarah. The son's name was Prong, like the point of a deer, and that's actually how he described it to me, was the points of a deer. That's where he got his name. And their name was Zhang, their last name, because the Chinese guy's name was Zhang, and that's really the only reason I know what the Chinese guy's name was. So it was Sarah and Prong Zhang that lived in this apartment complex with me. Now, oddly enough, I was not old enough to live alone, but I never had a parent in this situation. We would walk to school, because I was of that age, every day. And every day we were harassed by a gang. And this gang all knew martial arts. Well, because Zhang had taught Prong and Sarah martial arts, and for some odd reason I was some kind of martial arts whiz, we finally did like a we're tired of dealing with your crap revenge thing, which ended in our apartment building burning down, but the gang left us alone after that. And that launched me into I modified that once I realized when I was awake and whatnot into something cooler, and I launched a whole series of stories, and I'm actually going to rewrite a bunch of them. Now, that story, only some of the characters cross over, but the basis of that story has nothing to do with what the series ended up being, and I'm not sure how I got to that point, but I like the series a lot more. But I can tell you about the original dream because it not really connected a whole lot with that. And now that I've changed most of the names, except for Prong, which I'm probably still going to use as a character name, I thought it was worthy of passing on, and that's probably my favorite dream that I can remember.
Cool.
Other than the sex dreams, of course.
Oh yeah, goes without saying. Hey, you keep getting like really choppy. I don't know if that's going to show up on the recording or if that's just from my.
Probably from your house, because you just all of a sudden stopped too while you were complaining about how choppy I was.
Oh. It wasn't like this before.
No, it wasn't.
sometimes about things. It's like I have to ask her. It's like, did this happen or is this just something? Yeah. Uh,
Yeah,
it happened
holy
or not?
crap!
What?
Yeah, just all of a sudden you're futzing out a little bit. That's okay. Oh, I disappeared. I'm just a circle now on my screen.
That's crazy.
Oh, there I am. Whew. I was worried that I turned into a circle.
Did you break the?
You froze just as you were saying internet.
All I heard was you froze. Just
All I heard was you broke the internet. Yeah. Let's see here. I was worried. I turned into a circle. What were we talking about? Bears?
we mentioned the dreams.
Dreams.
Before that, we were talking martial artsy. There was something else I was wanting to talk about that I don't remember what it was.
Well, sticking with the dreams, and I had a dream about a classmate in 7th grade. Now, I did not realize that I was attracted to this classmate until this dream happened. Then I realized I'm actually really attracted to her. So things became awkward after that dream. But I never told her about the dream, and we never got together, ever. It was very sad.
The dream went. You might have to actually say something along the lines of, "Wow, this was much better while I was asleep."
It was much better because that was probably one of those aforementioned sex dreams. Have you ever had dreams that progress, like you have reoccurring dreams that get further along in the story or whatever, not just the same thing happening over and over and over again?
Yeah. I've had ones where I have like the same, or they get a little bit further, or do you remember how the TV show Dukes of Hazzard happens when they go to a commercial?
Yeah, like freeze frames, and then the balladeer talks about it.
I've had dreams like that, to where I'll wake up, wow, that was freaking awesome. I want to get back to that dream, and I close my eyes, and woo, and it just starts right back up where I left off.
The kung fu dream, I actually had to get up in the middle of it to go to the bathroom, and when I went back to bed, it picked right back up where it left off. But
That's cool.
the reoccurring dreams that I'm talking about are like, I don't have any specific ones to bring up, so I'm just going to bring up this sex dream with the girl here that I was attracted to. I'm going to call her Jessica because I'm not sure if that was her name, but that sounds right. So I had the initial dream about Jessica and me being at a bonfire or something the first time, and then the second time we were like in class, and then the third time we were some nondescript place. The fourth time we had sex. You know, it was a thing, and we could reference the previous dreams. In fact, we did reference the previous dreams as they went on, and at some point they stopped.
I don't think that dreams are just thoughtless things in our heads. I think there's more to it than what we think they are.
You think they're like I could tell the future?
That's a possibility. There's actually 5 ones where you can tell the future. Prophetic. That's a type of dream.
Have you... Okay. Quite often, lately, and this is probably the last 5 years, I'll be doing something, and then all of a sudden I'll get that feeling like, oh my God, I've seen this before. I dreamt about this before. This thing. This is the moment that I forgot.
This is what it was. Yeah, that happens often. A lot of this stuff makes me a little nervous though, because it's like me forgetting my dreams is I forget real stuff just as easily as I forget dreams, which I find and I think that everybody's like that. You know how dreams are when you first wake up, and it's like, man, that was awesome. Where was I? Wait, was I doing? Fuck, and it's gone. And you do the same thing where you're like, okay, and you pick up your book and you walk into the room, and what the hell was I looking for? Why is this book in my hand? The same thing that you do when you wake up in a dream, where it's like, it was right there, so clear. Meow.
Can you hear the cat meowing in the background?
Oh yeah, yeah.
The wife and the dog are outside futzing with the snowblower, and she's at the door just howling. Kitty, 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 kitty! Kitty, 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 kitty! Kitty, 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 kitty! Oh, the dog's in here. I didn't even know that. What's she howling? Come here. Come here. Are you tooting my cat?
Huh?
Are you tooting my cat?
I was just saying hello. Guess what I'm gonna play tomorrow?
With your wiener.
After that, like later.
Oh, Dungeons and Dragons.
Sort of. It's based on 3.5, as in the Dungeons and Dragons 3. Cthulhu.
Ooh. Thank God you're back. She's been howling at the door.
Boy, I sure could use some help. I need a light bulb.
Well, I'm on the thing here with DJ right now.
I'll be right back. Oh, I'm going to get a bulb. Entertain the guests.
Hey, hello, guests.
One of these?
So,
Well, look back farther in the way back for one of this kind of bulb. Hopefully there's some 100 watt.
Spelled
Of the old style kind.
Gotcha.
blah blah blah. Ulu. Or something.
Because now I'm changing the oil on the snowblower. In addition to everything else I'm doing, which is not getting my walk accomplished.
Hey, do you know who likes snowblowers? Snowmen. I don't know if they heard me. That was hilarious shit right there.
Yeah.
That first. H.P. Lovecraft. H.P. Lovecraft is the one who wrote Cthulhu. He came up with that. That was his brainchild.
You should.
You know what I said? Do you know who loves snowblowers?
Yeah, snowmen.
Snowmen.
You should listen to hppodcraft.com.
H.P. Podcraft.
It's two guys, Chris Lackey and Chad Pfeiffer, and they initially, all their free shows anyway, they went through each and every single H.P. Lovecraft story and analyzed it in often a humorous way.
H.P.
Podcraft.
.com.
Yep. And if you have you have your phone, so if you have some sort of podcatcher, you could probably set that up. Now, right now, they're reviewing other people's writings, and once a month they have a free show. The other 3 shows you have to pay for, which is $6.66 for 3 months.
Wow. That's not too bad, I guess.
But I'm not going to pay for shows. I'm adamantly against people that go, okay, we've got you, you're enjoying our show, now you got to pay.
Yeah, but $6.66 for a Lovecraft podcast, that's kind of clever.
That's why they did that.
Yeah. They were all like, we can make this like $1, but would it be cool? Like, yeah, it would.
Well, the first time I experienced the we're going to pull the rug out from underneath our listeners was a podcast I listened to called Sex with Emily. Sex with Emily, it was Emily something or other. She talked about she was a sex therapist basically. She's a hotter, younger Dr. Ruth. So
I think Dr. Ruth used to be young once.
yeah, she was once.
Oh.
So anyway, she was going and you know sometimes the shows were okay and sometimes they were really great and she had guests on and there was always interesting conversations. And then one day she's like, we're going to start charging for the shows. So you can watch them live, but in order to get the audio or the video after the fact, after live, you're going to have to subscribe. And I'm like, well, I guess I'm done listening to that one.
Yeah.
And I haven't listened to another show since.
That's sad.
They well, I did watch one of the live. I watched the show live once, and they were talking. That I don't know if they talk about it all the time, but they were talking about their subscription thingy. That it was probably 2 months after they started it, and they were kind of going over how it was working. And apparently, they experienced a significant dip in their listenership, and I'm thinking, no shit.
Yeah, no doubt.
So
Now, you gotta admit, though, that if we were all of a sudden start to charge $1 per show, we're not going to see much of a decline on our viewers.
well, yeah, we wouldn't, but I also wouldn't charge for what we're. I mean, this exact format and show and all that, I wouldn't charge for it. Now, if we both decided, let's start reviewing movies, just to throw out something. Okay, you and I were going to go through a movie a week, in depth. Super analysis, and we're going to charge 99 cents per show. And maybe we'll do the first one for free to give you an example, and we would do some sort of awesome movie like Return of the Jedi. And then, you know, and then we would go into whatever movies, and we'd always list what we got coming up, but at that point, it's a different show than the greatest show online.
Yeah.
Not the same. We're not all of a sudden, okay, I decided that episode 38, for no particular reason, is going to be 99 cents per episode, because that just seems right to me.
Yeah. That would be, I wouldn't pay to see it.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't even subscribe. Oh, cat.
Too bad. It's our show. What?
Cat.
Meow.
I
turned into a crow.
Oh, bang, fuck, I'm dead. So this new laptop I have is a touchscreen laptop.
Lucky bastard.
I like it. Now, granted, it's just a HP, but I like it. There's a game that I've been playing on my smartphone. It's that, oh, what the hell is it called? That Hill Racer, Hill Climb Racing.
Okay.
And you have vehicles and you go over the hills and you're trying to collect coins and blah, blah, blah. You have a gas pedal on this side and a brake pedal on this side, and you just go. It's available for this. So instead of having my phone like this, now all of a sudden my screen is, you know, my regular size screen with the gas. That's cool. I like it.
Are you still ingressing?
What?
Ingress? Do you still play Ingress?
Yes, yes I do. In fact, I still hold portals right now. Let me start that up so I can look at my stats. Ingress. Dun, 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 dun.
I see.
According to this, I have visited 46 different portals. I've hacked 216, deployed 194 resonance. I've destroyed 25 resonators, neutralized 3 portals, and destroyed 4 enemy links. The longest I've held a portal was 11 days, and the longest, well, this doesn't make sense. Max time portal held 11 days, max time link maintained 11 days, max link length times days was 29 days dash kilometers. So I don't understand that.
Yeah, I don't know that either.
So I'm almost level 4.
Okay. Well, Bob,
The
We're
town
getting-
that I
we're getting to that point, Bob.
what point?
The point where I start telling you that we've been on too long. But before we go to the post credits, I want to know, do you want to do the New Year's thing?
Well, like I said, I don't know if anyone's going to be here. I would hate to have to drinking and having fun, and I'm going to be upstairs for a while. You know, I don't really want to.
Okay, so here's what we're gonna do, Bob. When I get off work on New Year's Eve, I'm going to send you a message, and I'm going to ask if people showed up. If nobody showed up, I'm going to set a tentative time. And if you don't tell me no before that time, we're jumping on and we're doing New Year's Live.
Sounds good. We can do that.
So for the regular show, then we're going to end this one, but we're going to do our post titles, and then we can talk more about whatever the hell we want afterwards.
Okay.
Bye, Bob.
Bye-bye.
This is the Lime Flavored Network.